Truth be told, this is one of the toughest record predictions that we've had to do this record prediction season. What's going to be the regular season record for the Alabama Crimson Tide, the second year under Kalen DeBoer? Here goes nothing. If you're an Alabama fan, make sure to subscribe. If you want more content around your Crimson Tide, let us know by subscribing. We appreciate y'all being locked in. Let's get right to this. I've said on a previous video on a live show, this is one of those teams that I truly don't know what to do with in the 2025 season. Because what the problem was last year was more or less what you had at quarterback didn't fit your system, didn't fit your scheme, right? Now, I love everything else around Alabama. I love the receiver room. I told you I love the secondary. I love the defense as a whole. I like the skill players in the back. I love what Alabama is from a rostered level, but I don't know what to expect from the quarterback position, which is a massive guess. And the reason why that's such a tricky thing to unpack in the context of 2025 is 2024, you didn't have what you needed at quarterback. You went 9-3. So if you're telling me, once again, you don't have what you need at quarterback, if that's the reality for Alabama, then you're sitting in a situation where it's like, well, why should I expect anything different from Alabama? So with all of that being said, the way that I feel about Alabama is conflicted, right? Like it's kind of like when you meet someone that you're very much so infatuated with. You think they could be the one, but you haven't met the parents yet. Well, that's a big part of this equation. I love the roster, but I haven't met the quarterback yet. I'm not 100% sure that I can move forward here. So here's where I fall in the quarterback battle for Alabama. I lean towards just kind of trusting Kalen DeBoer. You know, kind of in his calling card. From Fresno State with Jake Haener to Washington with Michael Penix Jr. Both talented dudes, but I think they were elevated from a Kalen DeBoer and from a Ryan Grubb. So if that's the way we should move forward with this, which I think we should, look at who they have in that room. Austin Mack, Keelan Russell, and Ty Simpson, who I think is going to start for you. Any one of those three, the reason why I have more confidence in them than a one Jalen Milroe is they are much more in that mold of what Kalen DeBoer and Ryan Grubb have been successful with at the quarterback position. Michael Penix Jr., Jake Haener, both downfield throwers, both kind of, I don't want to say like pocket passers because they both had some wiggle to them, especially Michael Penix Jr. pre-injury, but like for the most part, they're more guys that you're expecting to stand and deliver in the pocket, right? Kind of what you expect from a Simpson, from a Mack, and from a Keelan Russell, even though he's only a true freshman. I think from a roster level, what I already told you, they're as talented as anyone they're going to play. You split hairs and say maybe Georgia's a touch more talented. I mean, didn't matter a year ago. LSU, I think they're super talented. I think you feel good about how you stack up with them from a talent perspective. So assuming it's Ty Simpson, my question is, what is his baseline? Because I think you could have been more successful a year ago if you just had a consistent Jalen Milroe. I don't need the first half Georgia Jalen Milroe every single week. It'd be nice. Probably win a national championship if I get first half Georgia Jalen Milroe every single week. But if I just got like pedestrian Jalen Milroe, I got just an average of what to expect from him every single week, we're probably in a position where we make the college football playoff. Because against Oklahoma, it was very different than what you got against Georgia, obviously. But, I mean, even against Vanderbilt, he was solid, but he was not that against Tennessee. Like, there was a different version of Jalen Milroe every single week, it felt like, which made it hard to, be consistent offensively. Even more specifically, hard to be consistent when it comes to game planning offensively. So you get consistent Ty Simpson every single week. If you do, you have a baseline to work with, then I think Kalen DeBoer can game plan with that, can elevate with that, and will be able to call his offense according to that. Now, what I say that as much as I also want to make sure we mention whoever's playing quarterback for you. Again, I think it's Ty Simpson. What's the range like when you get into those games where the talent is equal? Like the Georgias, like the LSUs. Like the games against your Tennessees potentially, South Carolina on the road. Like, do you have a quarterback who can genuinely go out and maybe not totally take the game over for you, but in certain spots go win the game for you? Because I think in modern college football, especially in the SEC with all the new quarterbacks, you're going to need that at some point in time if you want to make the college football playoff. So you look at what last year was, and the reason why I think I have a little more confidence in Alabama the more that I look at what this team has, there wasn't really a ton of games where you just say, we got beat because we were the less talented team. Like the Tennessee game is maybe the one spot where you say, okay, the talent for them showed up and the spots needed to show up for. But like the game against Vanderbilt, Jalen Milroe played well against Vanderbilt. Defense did not play well. Took their eye off the ball. In the game against Oklahoma, Jalen Milroe did not play well. Like it was a loss, I think, more so on Alabama than it was you giving credit to the Vanderbilts or the Oklahomas. And that's not me taking anything away from either side of that, but I do think if Alabama plays to their potential on both of those Saturdays, probably finish 11-1 and you're punching your ticket to the college football playoff. So how far along is this team in what I call the other stuff? Doesn't have anything to do with talent. Doesn't have anything to do with how you recruit. It's all about like showing up and being your best on that Saturday, and the Saturday after that, and the Saturday after that, being consistent. That was one thing Kalen DeBoer kept talking about during SEC Media Days. Hey, we got to be better in being consistent. We have to grow. We have a lot of the coaching cliches that don't actually speak to talent is what Alabama's focusing on right now. And the beautiful part about that, if you're an Alabama fan, that's what you need to focus on. You don't have to worry about talent. You have that in spades. Got to have a guy at quarterback, massive part of this we've already talked about, but if you are just consistent, Alabama's going to be in good shape. So how good is shape? Let's go game by game here and give you our final record prediction for the 2025 regular season, right? Playoff, title game in the conference. We'll talk about that in future dates, but for the regular season, here's how I see everything shaking out. First game at Florida State. I love Thomas Castellanos running his mouth. I think it probably comes back to bite him in this spot. I'll take Bama on the road against Florida State. You beat ULM. You beat Wisconsin heading into the bye. You're undefeated. Got a bye to prep for Georgia. Now you go to Georgia. I really like Kalen DeBoer as a game planner. I love him being reunited with Ryan Grubb. I have a very difficult time seeing them getting Kirby Smart 2 times in a row. So I think that you actually drop that game at Georgia. I think it's revenge city against Vanderbilt. I think that if you have a chance to drive the knife in and twist it, I think you do that against Vanderbilt. I think you beat them. I think you go to Missouri. Not really sure what to make of Missouri right now. I like a lot of their portal pieces, but I don't know how it's all going to work together, so I'll take you to beat them on the road. You play Tennessee. This is one of those spots. Ty Simpson, we need you, brother. We need you. I mean, Tennessee's defense, I don't know if it'll be as good as last year, but it's not going to be some fall off the face of the earth back to 2022 kind of version of that Vols defense. Can Ty Simpson, I don't need 300 yards. I need him to just make the big throws. Make the big throws, much like Nico did last year for Tennessee, in the clutch spots to win the football game. I think Ty Simpson, whoever's playing quarterback, will do that for Bama. Just my feel on this. And overall, I'll take Alabama and their roster to beat Tennessee and keep good vibes rolling. You go to South Carolina. This is a tricky one, all right? It'll be scrappy. It'll be on the road at Willie B. That place will get rocking. If you're South Carolina, you're hoping and praying this thing is at night. Lenora Sellers is, again, I've said this many times, I think one of the best players in college football, probably the best player in college football, not named Jeremiah Smith. I think that how close that game was a year ago, Alabama will give South Carolina their undivided attention. That's one of those spots where you find out how far along are you in the other stuff, the culture, the focus, the not having a letdown after a big win against Tennessee and avenging yourself or avenging your loss from a year ago. I think they take that next step in that space. I think they beat South Carolina heading into a bye week. Now, off the bye, you play LSU, and I really like LSU this year. I like Garrett Nussmeier more than I like Ty Simpson right now, which I don't think is saying a whole lot given what we know about Garrett Nussmeier. I like the way they attacked in the portal and upped their roster talent at the weapons, and I think that they're going to be a force this year. So I think you drop that game to LSU. I think you beat Oklahoma. This is another big spot where you say, okay, hey, where's the culture at? Can you bounce back from a loss? I think they do. I think they beat Oklahoma. You beat Eastern Illinois. Shout out Jimmy Garoppolo and Tony Romo. Eastern Illinois alums, but they wear the L that day as Bama rolls there. And you go to Auburn. This is one where weird things are going to happen. Something weird will happen in this game. It'll be kind of a wonky look, I think, for both sides. Even if Auburn has a bad year, and I don't think they'll have a bad year, but even if Auburn has a bad year, they will come to play in this spot. Jordan Hare, the last time they were there, I think it was the Jalen Monroe 4th and 31 game. So it'll be wonky. It'll be weird. I do think Alabama finds a way in that spot. Okay, so they finish at 10-2. What does that mean? One, it means you're in the college football playoff. Okay, now we'll be called SEC homers, SEC bias, whatever. This is just how I see things shaking out. I think Bama was so close a year ago, and I don't think they stubbed their toe in the same way in 2025. So you're in the college football playoff. I think that, one, massively impacts the way that you view Kalen DeBoer, because everyone's saying 9-3, not the Bama standard, this and that. It's like, okay, big exhale. You hired a good coach. I'd say you hired, given this result, the right coach that got you to the playoff in his second season. You've turned the page from what Nick Saban's Alabama was to what Kalen DeBoer's Alabama is. You can't judge them the same, but I think the threshold of getting into the playoff being the standard is still fair, and Kalen DeBoer checks that box, and everyone just kind of cools off a little bit in Tuscaloosa relative to that. Maybe as important as the conversation around Kalen DeBoer, the recruiting momentum stays intact. Because they had a top 3 class last year winning 9 games, missing the playoff. What do you think they're going to do when they win 10 and make the playoff? The biggest thing with Alabama when it comes to the playoff will be, can they do what Ohio State did at the end of last season? I said this for Georgia. I'm going to say it for Bama. Ohio State wasn't a championship team in the month of November. They weren't. Go ask Michigan. If Alabama can get past that last game of the regular season, regroup, self-scout, hit the reset button, and Ty Simpson can move from a first-year starter into truly a second-year starter, because you've already played a full year of college football, 12 games, that's where Alabama can really start cooking, because the talent there is up there with everyone else in the country. If Ty Simpson translates to being a true guy at quarterback, Alabama can go play for a national championship. Now, that's projecting a lot, but I mean, just talk about it this way. If you got Garrett Nussmeier level of production from Ty Simpson, and you could tell me that without a shadow of a doubt right now, if you told everyone that at SEC Media Days in Atlanta last week, Alabama would have been picked to win the conference, I think, across the board, or at least picked to be top 2. All right, like that's how much talent Alabama has, and I want to make sure we're all aligned there. So Alabama got them going 10-2, got them in the playoff. What they do past that remains to be seen. We'll give you our prediction for that on our Tuesday show. So make sure you're locked in, make sure you're subscribed. Bama fans, let me know on the message boards, in the comment section, social media, Instagram, Twitter, at JD PicKell, what your final record is for your Crimson Tide. Appreciate y'all, love y'all. We'll keep this party rolling. We will see y'all next time.